Hello and welcome to this tutorial on the dialogue and quest system. So the dialogue system and the quest system are pretty much intertwined. You can just have dialogues, but you can also have dialogues that give quests or finish quests and things like that. So let's firstly talk about just the dialogue. So in this case, without any quests. So what you do is you just create a dialogue data. Let's call this simply dialogue. And what you can do here is give it sentences. So each one will be displayed on its own after another when clicking the mouse or with mobile and clicking a button. So it can be like, hello, I am an NPC. I like talking to you. Something like that. You can also make it so that this dialogue, once it plays, it gives a quest or it completes a quest, but for now we will just do the dialogue. And then we create a model in the scene, so we actually have something that we can talk to. So for example here, give it the layer interactable. Some animations, and then we have two types, interactable NPC and interactable quest NPC. The quest NPC is the one that gives quests, and the NPC is the one that just talks. You can also finish quests there. So, for example, if you have a quest given by the quest NPC that says, oh, you need to talk to this NPC, then you can also do it with this one. But it cannot give away quests. It's just someone that you can talk to. So, for example, this one here. We will remove the pickup trigger and the pickup duration, so to not play anything. This one here, interaction text, it is overwritten here. It's just from the interactable base script. It actually will say this name from the NPC. So we can just like see it, let's call it talk to. Let's actually give it a name, something like Adam. And then you can set up the dialogues. So the standard dialogue is just the one that you go to and talk to, and then it will say this dialogue. The quest target dialogue is the one that plays once. So if you have a quest to talk to this NPC, then this dialogue will be played once if it's the target, and afterwards not anymore. And then also only if the data matches. So if this quest is active, that you need to talk to this NPC, it will be played once, then the quest is finished, and then the standard one will be played again. But I will show it with the quest later on. So now we just create the standard dialogue. We can create a camera, so you can actually see the person, or through this event play animations and things like that. So we have a prefab for that. The interactable camera, just put that as a child, set it to 0, and you can see if we enable this that it looks at the character. We can of course also change the position, just that it's within this wireframe of the camera. Disable it again, and then assign it here. Another thing is that it needs a collider. So let's put that in, and then we can already try it. So as you can see here, now it says talk with Adam. Because we gave it the name Adam, it will override this text here. And once we click E, then we will see the text that we set up. So this one here, hello, I'm an PC. And once we click on the screen, this one here is for mobile. You could also click here, but then it will say the next sentence, I like talking to you and have a nice day. And now if we click once more, there is no more sentence, so it will just close itself. So that's how you do the dialog system. Now that the dialog is set up, let's look into the quest system. So what we do first is we actually create a quest giver, so we can then be given the quest. So let's put this guy with the head inside here. This will be our quest giver. Change the layer to a direct table, add a collider. And interact table quest NPC, because this is an NPC that will actually give away quests. And remove this one here if you don't want to have any animations be played. The interaction text we can ignore. It will be the same as here with the dialog, that it will say talk to quest giver. Then it has multiple settings here. The managed quest is the quest that it will give away and manage pretty much. Then it has more dialog options. One where the quest is offered, then one during the quest when you're not yet finished and just doing the quest, then one when you're ready to turn in the quest, and one for after the quest. Now let's firstly also put in the camera. And then let's create our first quest. It's our quest. So here you see some settings. The quest ID is a unique ID for every quest. It's always important that you change this ID and give each quest its own ID. It's used for tracking, and if two quests have the same ID, then both will be finished once you finish one of the quests. So give every quest its own unique quest ID. This is quite important. Quest title and description will be shown in the UI during the game if you have the quest active. So let's find our quest. This we can leave. Then you have different objectives. I will go through each one after another. So first let's do the talk objective, because we have the dialog guy right here. The target name here is not a game object name, but a unique one for every quest. So in the case for talk, it is the name of the NPC that we set up here. So let's put that in talk, and in that case the required amount would be 1, because we need to talk to one Adam. You can of course also per quest have multiple objectives at one, for example talk to Adam and kill some enemy or something, but for now we will go through one at a time. Item to collect is only for the ones that have collect item. What you can also do is set up rewards, so that being gold or whatever items you want to have here. So let's put in for quest, and then create the different dialog types for the stages of the quest. So for the quest start, let's say Adam, and on the dialog that starts the quest, you also have to place in the quest on quest to give in. Oh, this is it. The same on the turn in quest once it's finished. Here on the quest, quest to complete it is. So it actually knows which dialog to start in the quest and which one to finish it. So now we can set up everything. So start quest, during quest, ready to turn in, and after the quest. So this would already work. Let's just give this guy here also a dialog when it's the quest target. So let's call this NPC. Example like this. So what you can see now, if we go, this was the dialog guy, talk to him, he will play the standard dialog that we set up earlier. And if we go to the quest giver, then it will start with the start quest dialog. Now we finish the quest dialog, and we can see our quest here in the active missions, our title, our quest, the description, and then the objective. Let's talk with Adam, and we have not yet finished it. If we talk to it again during the quest, then it will play our during the quest dialog. Hurry up. So let's go to talk with Adam, and now it plays in the NPC quest. We need to remove this one real quick. There should be no quest to complete here. And now we talked with him. It says we have finished the progress. And now he goes back to his standard dialog, and we can go talk with the quest giver. He speaks our turn in dialog, and you can see now the quest is no more active because we finished it. We got 100 more gold, and he speaks after the quest dialog now. So that is how you make a dialog quest. Let's talk to people. And now let's look into the other parts of the dialog, the quest. So for example, if we now take the kill objective, let's give the target name an enemy, a required amount of 1. For this one I'm just gonna duplicate one of the AIs that is already existing. So this one here, for example. I'm gonna change it really fast to idle and defend. And here we have the quest enemy target. This is the one where we give it the target name. So the target name here needs to be the same as this one here. And if you can, of course, you can add the script here manually, quest enemy targets for enemies. But if you create an AI through the character wizard, and untick that it is a player, then you can select here, is it a quest enemy, and give it an enemy name here. So it will automatically add the quest enemy target script. You can of course put the required amount to whatever you like. So then you need to kill as many enemies as you put in there with the specific target name here. But for this it will be enough. So let's try it out. So here it says starting dialog. Now the progress is different because we now have to defeat an enemy. If we now do that, I'm just gonna change its health to 1, so it does not take as much time. Now we killed the enemy. You can see that progress has been taken. And once we go back here and talk with him to give him the quest, then we finish the quest. So this is how you do it with enemies. And now let's look into the rest. So let's now put in the explore one. Give the target name. For example, what will we explore? This tree, for example. Tree. So what we do is we create a trigger, then put in quest location trigger. We need to have a collider first and a rigid body that is set to is kinematic and uses no gravity. Put it on the layer character, and now we can add the quest location trigger. Here the location name is then the same as our target name, so for our case that is tree. Make this a bit bigger, something like that. Then you can put in if it only should be triggered once or destroyed after use, and which tag it actually triggers to. So in our case that is the player. You could also make it so that an AI can trigger it or something like that in case you want to use that. But so far that will work. So let's try it out. So now we have investigate the tree. If we go to the tree, we got into the trigger and it updated the progress. And now you can see we finished it. So what we do now is we do a collect, and let's put in, we need to collect a bow. For that we put in an item to collect, and then we actually need a collectible. So in my case I will just drop in the bow pickup script because it will collect the bow. So I'm now just gonna remove the bow from the player's inventory because it's already inside there. So equipment and remove the bow. So we can actually pick it up. Otherwise it would already be counted as finished from the quest once we start the quest. Okay, now we need to collect the bow. Once we go to the bow and pick it up, it updated, we collected the bow, and the quest is ready to give in. That's how you do collecting stuff. It of course does not have to be a weapon collectible. You can pick up every item that you want. It could also be a quest item that you then use for other things. So let's go back here to quest and change it to interact. So let's remove this trigger for now. Now we need to interact with something. Here is the script interactable quest action that we need, because all the other interactables, the basic one and things like that, it does not listen to the quest. Let's also give it something that we can actually see. Put it, let's remove this one and place it up here. Then give it a layer interactable. And here the target name also needs to match, so it's called, oh, this is badly spelled. And remove pickup thing. So here this would be the action target name. For us it's interact. Here you can, as for the interactables, you can play a specific trigger for animations, lock the input and things like that. And so once you interact with this interactable, this event will still be called even if you have no active quests, so you can still do stuff with the interactable. But those ones, this one will only be called if you actually have the quest active, and this one if it failed, so if you don't have it active, and then you can disable the whole thing after use. So let's say if we have a successful interaction, we will disable this tree here. Something like this. Game object active false. And then let's try it out. So now we have the progress interact. This is because the name was quite bad chosen. It will say whatever you put in here in the target name. And once we interact with it, you will see the tree is gone. So we have the quest, and the quest is progressed, and we can give it in. So this is it for the quest system. One more thing regarding to the quest, you can create world events. So here we have the script state listener. We put in our quest, and here you can just make the world feel a bit more alive through the use of those two events here. So you can create a target state, for example, if it's not started, if we just started progressing it, if we completed it, but we have not yet went back to the quest giver and turned it in, or we have turned it in. So, and then you can call either state reached or state lost, for example, if we die or something like that, if the quest is gone. And just use those events to change your world. For example, now once our quest is turned in, so we did the interaction thing here, disabled this revisit, went back to this guy and got the reward. Then, for example, we will now enable the tree again. So something like this. Let's try it out. As you can see, the tree is gone. Quest is now. Let's hand it in, and the tree is back up because we put it inside here. So this way you can just make your world feel alive, and for example, once a given quest is finished, unlock a new area or something like that. And yeah, I hope it helps you. If you have any questions regarding the quest system or anything else, feel free to ask me via Discord, email, or whatever. And I hope you have a nice day.